Alright, so most of you all know that I'm a big proponent of fish clubs, that I'm a member of a handful of fish clubs that are somewhat local to me, and I actually helped start a local fish club as well. And one of the real popular things in fish clubs are Breeders' Awards programs, often abbreviated BAP or called BAT. And many fish clubs have them. They're not all the same. A lot of them are similar. And they're not that hard to run. They're not that hard to set up. Anybody looking at setting one up that has more questions about them, that's starting a club and wants more details or something, reach out to me. I don't care to share how we set ours up, how to the different options. I don't care to share the files of our rules and points and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just reach out to me and I'll help out however I can. But like I said, different clubs will do the Breeders' Awards program a little different. But we'll go over how the club that I helped start, how we do ours, and the basics of it. What is the Breeders' Awards program? Basically, the Breeders' Awards program is a program where you get points for breeding fish. So we've got three purposes to the Breeders' Awards program. The first purpose is to recognize the achievements of members for what they're doing in their hobby of breeding the fish, breeding species. The second purpose is to share these fish with other hobbyists. So let's say, for example, I breed a fish and I can share it with the other members of my club, the other hobbyists, but they might not otherwise be able to see that fish or be able to get that fish. It might be a species that you don't see in pet stores. So the first purpose was to recognize achievements and reward members for breeding. Second purpose was to share the species among other hobbyists. And the third purpose is to share experience and knowledge of breeding. And with those three purposes, we build the Breeders' Awards program. So the requirements for our Breeders' Awards program is you have to own the parents of the fish. So I can't just go out and buy some guppy fry and turn them in and get points for that. I'd have to own the parents of the guppy fry and breed them, and then I could turn in the fry for the Breeders' Awards program. So you have to, once you breed the fish, you have to have 6 fry that have got to a reasonable size, like a sellable size, because the purpose is to share the fish with someone else. You want them to be able to do good, to raise it up and breed it and keep the fish going. So we say 6 fish, usually about 6 weeks or so of age is good enough. Some of them grow a little faster, some grow a little slower. If you have questions, just ask, but most people know about what's a good sellable size for their species of fish. But you get those 6 fry of sellable size, and you take them to the club auction, to the any meeting that we do, and you put them in the auction, mark them with the BAP, that we know that it's a Breeders' Awards program fish, and they get auctioned. So that's the first step, is you just share the fish with the other club members. The second step is you just have to fill out the Breeders' Awards program report. It's just a little form that says what's your name, what's the fish's name, and no, we don't mean like Tom or Jill or whatever you name the fish. It's a guppy, it's a Oscar, it's a bronze Cory. So what type of fish is it? And then it's got some other stuff on there, like how did you get the parents ready to breed. What size tank were they in when they bred? Was it a live bearer, an egg layer, a mouth brooder? Try to share as much information as you can so that someone else can have that information and say, oh, well, they bred this fish by putting this pot in there on its side and putting a rock over top of it, and can try it and see if it works for them also. Because that deals with the third purpose of the Breeders' Rewards program, is to share your experience, to help teach others how to successfully breed the fish. And then the first purpose is the awards and rewards and recognition and all that. And the way we do that is there's different categories of fish. There's live bearers, there's New World cichlids, there's Old World cichlids, there's loaches and catfish, and different categories that we have. And in the categories, there's groupings of fish that are worth 5 points, 10 points, 20 points, 15 points. And we've done that based on the difficulty of breeding, the rarity of the fish, different things like that. Some other clubs may do it differently. They may do, every fish is worth 1 point. So you get the same 1 point for breeding a guppy that you would get if you bred a fish that takes 3 years to prepare to breed and is really rare and hard to get. But with us, the guppy is 5 points because they're pretty easy to breed. But something that's a little more difficult to breed, maybe 10 points, 15 points, 20 points. And you can only breed the species once. You can only get the points for that fish once. So a guppy, for example, a blue Moscow guppy and a red dragon guppy, they're both guppies, same species. Different colors don't get more points. You get your 5 points for breeding your guppies, and you got the guppy points. But say let's say swordtails. So the regular swordtail that you would see, most common is the Xiphophorus helleri. So you get points for that. And then say you go out and you get a more rare species of swordtail that you don't see very, isn't the helleri, it's a Montezuma sword. Well, that's a different species, so you can get points for the Montezuma sword. And the difference is species versus like what they call strains or lines, different colors or finnage. If it's a different species, you can get points for that. If it's the same species, you can only get the point once. We don't do hybrids, so like flower horns and blood parrots and polar convict cichlids, where it's a mix of two different species, because then it's endless and you can't tell what you really have, and it's real complicated that way. The only exceptions there are with the like the domestic live bears, like the swordtails here. Like, even though we call these that's behind me Xiphophorus helleri, they're not really. They've been in the hobby so long and interbred with platies that they're not really Xiphophorus helleri. But we'll still count the hybrid domestic live bears like that. And like I say, guppies. Guppies in pet stores are most likely a little hybridized with guppies and endlers. But we'll still count them as guppies. And then the plecos, because there's a lot of different bristle nose. So you can get your points for bristle nose once without knowing which ancestress it is. If you breed other plecos, you would need to know which species it is besides just bristle nose. Let's see, and of your categories, say with live bears, you can get a category award that you breed 6 different species of live bear, and you get the live bear award. And as you add points up, say you get your 5 points for your guppy and your 5 points for breeding convict cichlids and whatever the different points are. I don't have them all memorized, but they add up and you get different different titles. So there's like a general breeder and an intermediate breeder, master breeder, and it just keeps going up. The more points that you get, the higher your title will go, and you get awards, certificates and plaques and stuff at the end of the year for getting these achievements. Your points carry over from one year to the next, so if you breed guppies this year, you don't have to breed them again next year and the following year, that you still have that 5 points to carry from this year to next year to the following year to help you keep adding to your points to achieve a higher level. Something a little unique to Air Club that a lot of other clubs don't do is we give some bonus points on the Breeders' Awards program. If you're the first person to turn in that species to our club, you get an extra 5 points. Not only can you get that bonus point, but if you're the first person to breed their genus and turn them in to the club, that's another 5 points. And if you're the first person to breed the family, that's another 5 bonus points. So as more people breed, it's harder to get the bonus points. But there's still always going to be fish out there that haven't been turned into the club, that haven't been bred, and you're eligible to get those bonus points. Before you know it, you can be a master breeder and see who breeds the most this year and have a lot of fun with it. If you have any questions about Breeders' Awards programs in general, or how our hours work, or anything at all, if you have any suggestions on Breeders' Awards programs or ideas or thoughts or whatever, reach out to me. Let me know. Put it in the comment section below.